All right. Our first story of today is in the beautiful state of Virginia. That's right. Virginia is in the news. It's on the map. Before we talk about Virginia, though, let's talk about the state of Texas. Now, if you recall, Donald Trump, a while back, wanted to desperately create an opportunity for more Republican seats. He wanted to redistrict in the red state of Texas. And Democrats did the unthinkable. For the first time ever, when Donald Trump forced a redistricting to happen in Texas so he could secure a couple seats in the state of Texas, Democrats did the unthinkable and fought back and decided, two can play that game. If you redistrict in the state of Texas and gerrymander and get a couple additional red seats, then we'll do the exact same thing in California. We'll do the exact same thing in Virginia. Because here's the reality. While redistricting takes place all around the country, more often than not, it's been favored by red states. And it turns out, there's a lot more room for redistricting in blue states and even in purple states that could go blue. So it's not even a two can play that game style situation. It's a you should have never deployed this option. You should have never frustrated the Democrats into actually taking action, because that shit is never going to be good for you. Okay? It's unbelievable. I think the reason why Donald Trump did this initially, and this is a day where we're blue no matter who. I mean, I'm finding myself, in line with the likes of Trouble Man 90, who spends most of his time shitting on me, right? We will talk about the double standard in the media as well, for sure. But once again, I'm telling you right now, the reason why Trump did this initially is because he thought Democrats are pussies and they won't actually respond in kind. And for the longest time, there were Democrats who did not want to respond in kind. So, hey, a very, very reluctant W that I will offer to gruesome Governor Gavin Newsom here, because he immediately was like, bet. You're going to redistrict Texas? Bet. Here's fucking unlimited blue districts from the state of California. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, you want to redistrict? We'll fucking redistrict too, bitch. Oh, you get 4 seats? How about 10? How about 20? How about unlimited fucking seats? How about we delete Republican districts altogether and turn them into blue districts permanently? Okay? So yeah, he did do that shit. And I said at the time that it was a good thing. And I will say once again, this is still a good thing. Okay? Turns out when Democrats actually fight back, there is a wonderful opportunity to make changes. Okay? And remember, the only reason why Donald Trump, California's going to turn red. Oh, dude. Sure, bud. Okay. That was a good one. Thank you. No, you're right. Cali's turning red any day now. Dude, California used to be red, okay? Not anymore. In any case, I need you to understand one thing, okay? Donald Trump did this because he thought there is no way in hell that these pussy Democrats will actually fight back. And it turns out, if you go meat for meat, whether it be the fucking Ayatollah and the IRGC or the American version of the woke Ayatollah, the Democratic Party's got more meat. He didn't realize that the Democratic Party had more meat. Okay, he went band for band. He went district for district. Turns out Democrats got a lot more schmeat than you would have actually imagined. Turns out In many of these fucking states, in many of these blue goddamn states, there are reforms. There were reforms that were implemented to even combat Republican redistricting initiatives, which is precisely the reason why they had independent commissions in a lot of these blue districts, which is precisely the reason why a lot of these blue states had not specifically rigged it so that Democrats maxed out on all of the Republican seats they could put in Congress. Turns out, Republicans, on the other hand, had done it all around the fucking country and therefore don't really have the same opportunity. Yeah, turns out Democrats were growers, not showers. Bruh. Okay? But once they went down there and once they got to work, okay, once they started rubbing the pole, oh my Lord, dude, a lot of meat out there. Here's one of the examples. We're going to obviously talk about Virginia. Virginia had a referendum, okay? Very different than a normal election. Referendum is not a partisan issue, right? In most circumstances, which is precisely the reason why the Virginia redistricting referendum, it was 51-49 split. The referendum was for redistricting in the state of Virginia, and now Democrats are going to secure additional seats in the House. Okay, this is just for one term before the next time, before the next like independent censure, the independent censor. What the fuck am I saying? Census. Oh my God. The census takes place. At that point, they'll go back to the independent commission. But for the time being, since the next census, Democrats are going to be securing a bunch of seats in Virginia.
Overnight, a win for Democrats in Virginia that could help them take control of the House in November's midterm elections. Jay O'Brien is on Capitol Hill with the details. Good morning, Jay.
George, good morning to you. And this was a major victory for Democrats ahead of those critical November midterms. After a bitterly fought referendum, Virginia voters approving new congressional maps that could help Democrats pick up as many as 4 safe Democratic seats. This is in direct response to a firestorm of redistricting that was really ignited by President Trump over the summer when he demanded that Texas Republicans redraw their maps for safe Republican seats, other states like Missouri and North Carolina following suit. But after this win in Virginia and other Democratic-controlled states like California redrawing their maps, Democrats now appear poised to cancel out some of those redistricting gains made by Republicans, George.
And, Jay, we have the third House resignation in a week, this time a Democrat.
Yeah, Democratic Sheila Sherfless McCormick, the third member of the House to resign in less than a week. She resigned just minutes before the House Ethics Committee was set to meet and decide her punishment after it found her guilty of violating 25 different House ethics rules. She's also been indicted on federal charges, accused of embezzling $5 million of pandemic-era FEMA funds. She's pleaded not guilty to those charges. She denies any wrongdoing. And in a statement announcing her resignation, she accused the House Ethics Committee of playing political games. George.
Jay O'Brien, thanks.
Our message to Florida Republicans is F around and find out. If they go down the road of a DeSantis dummy-mander, the Florida Republicans are going to find themselves in the same situation as Texas Republicans, who are on the run right now, and under no circumstances are Texas Republicans picking up 5 seats. They'll be fortunate if they get 2 or 3. While in California, we are going to get all 5. The Republicans are dummy-mandering their way into the minority before a single vote is cast because they started this war, and we're going to finish it.
We have some breaking news tonight as CNN can now project that Virginia voters have approved a Democratic plan to dramatically redraw the state's congressional map. 92% of the results are in, with just over 51% voting yes on the ballot measure. Now, if this map is enacted, it means Democrats could win 10 out of the state's 11 congressional districts.
Guys, I missed the sexual panther. I heard his voice and I nutted. I heard his voice from the other side of the hall and I nutted, okay? But I'm not gonna replay it because I feel like it's gonna his aura is too powerful. When he says dummy mander, I was like, oh, ah. I had to rush over here. We're currently only up 1-2. Estimated redistricting shift so far from John Cooper: Texas +5 Republicans, California +5 Democrats, Utah +1 Democrat, Missouri +1 Republican, North Carolina +1 Republican, Ohio +1 to +2 Republican, Virginia +4 D. Net roughly 1-2 Democrat seats nationally. Oh, don't worry. A solid takes, baby. You're on the big TV. What's wrong with you, dog? All right, well. Please check out VA State Senator Louise Lucas. She's the only politician I've seen who might be able to keep the woke commander Kyle Kalinske if you keep messaging better than Jeffries. Okay. Dude, you guys. You know there are like, once we add on state senators as well and like state reps in general, like we're talking about thousands of candidates, okay? Thousands around the country. Like I can't I don't know what you want me to do. I can't get to all of them, okay? I know I said I want to let 1,000 Zorons bloom, but like it's pretty, you know, there are thousands of people. I can't go through all of them and like, you know, lend as much support as possible. I'm one guy. You guys forget. I'm literally one guy. I need to see that Michigan Fist video again. Michigan Fist. I'm going to Michigan Fist myself. Okay? This is the life you chose, liberal Rogan. That's not even the case. Like, Joe Rogan doesn't do any of this shit. This is a totally separate thing. Why not just group them together and do them in batches? Oh my God. Backseat production is my favorite part of the Hasanabi broadcast, okay? There's always so many wonderful ideas that come from this community. Thank you so much, chatter. That seems like a great idea. Surely I can't think of a single way that would fall apart. Yeah, let's just go after hundreds of candidates from all around the country and do like a Votorama style situation. And just get him on a round table. It's fine. It'll be easy. The point is, I don't have the brain processing capacity to like do the necessary groundwork to figure out the background of all these people, okay? Didn't you already do that in New York? Yeah, but that's the DSA slate. That's entirely different. That's an organization that I trust, an organization that I work with, an org whose candidates I trust, okay? Whose candidates I have knowledge over. Very different circumstance than like random chatters bringing up their like state senators and shit. Anyway, no disrespect to any of these people, okay? I'm working on my own pace. I'll try to get to it. You understand you did this to yourself by having 95% of your stream guests be candidates? I know. I fucked up. That's why we have Jeffrey Sachs coming on today, okay? In a couple hours, we will have the GOAT, Jeffrey Sachs, who is not a candidate, who's a professor, okay? We'll be talking to Jeffrey Sachs. And then tomorrow we'll be talking to Your Rage. We're going to have Jeffrey Sachs do Chad Vice. We're going to have Your Rage come on to talk about the Strait of Hormuz and what it means to, like, what it has done to America's force projection capabilities around the globe, that they cannot forcibly militarily reopen the Strait of Hormuz, which was open before Donald Trump fucked it. Okay? And Your Rage has a lot of thoughts on this, obviously, so... Dye your hair bleach blonde to support Kyle? Sure. All right. let's get back to it. Dems win Virginia redistricting battle. What does this mean for the midterms?
Which would boost the party at large in the fight for control of Congress. Harrington is here to join us. And Harry, obviously, there were a lot of questions of how this would go tonight. Tell us what we're seeing in these numbers so far.
Yeah, I would just say, look, the yes side won. Yes, they are probably going to end up lower than the percentage that Kamala Harris won in terms of the margin. But you know what? A win is a win is a win. And this means a lot for Virginia. And I will just note, just look at this. They have basically going to gerrymander this state rotten. They are basically going to lock Republicans out of power in a state where Donald Trump got 46% of the vote back in 2024. House seats Republicans in Virginia.
If you want to understand how ridiculous like redistricting is in places like Wisconsin, for example, famously, I've talked about it quite a bit, but for Democrats to actually win majority in like to win majority representation in the state of Wisconsin, they need like almost 70% of the vote. Okay. Like it's a little bit like for those of you who don't understand how redistricting works, how gerrymandering works, it's a little bit like the Electoral College, where like Democrats need to outperform the Republicans not by 1%, but usually the way the Electoral College works, they have to outperform the Republicans by like 5 to almost 10%, not 10%, but like 5 to 7% in order to actually win the Electoral College. So it's kind of like that, okay? You know, they're trying to slice up the districts in a way that puts a majority. Bro, you have no idea what you're talking about. Get off the platform. All right, today we're going to do something different. We're going to let Pockets 2, following since 2026, 420, explain to us the concept of redistricting, and I'm just giving him the table now. Go ahead, Pockets 2. Don't chat GPT it. Just explain to us, redistricting, gerrymandering, why I'm wrong about the way that I've described it thus far. Okay, you've taken too long. Kind of feels like you didn't know what the fuck you were talking about, and you were just chirping for no reason. All right, let's continue.
Are only going to really end up with 9%. That is quite the imbalance that's going on here, right? Of course, this is part of a larger national picture as well in terms of redistricting. And this, to me, is what is so interesting, right? Oh, we've had all this redistricting, right? It started in Texas. Then it was California. We've done Ohio. We've done North Carolina. We've done Utah. But heading into tonight, pre-Virginia results, the net gain from this mid-decade redistricting was really 0 seats, neither side gaining. But now is where we are right now with the Virginia measure passing. Democrats jump out ahead.
Isn't this only a temporary thing, the redistrict? Yes, it is. It's until the next census where it snaps back into a independent redistricting council.
They're the ones leading in mid-decade redistricting, leading right now by 4 seats on the strength of that yes vote, however thin that margin actually is.
So, Harry, I mean, obviously, Senator Warren was just talking about 6 months from now, the midterm elections. What could this mean for the fight for who controls Congress here?
Yeah, I mean, if you know anything about the House of Representatives, and you're down in Washington, D.C., so you know a heck of a lot more than I do, I would just say this. The power right now, it's so tight, right? Every vote is so tight in the U.S. House of Representatives. So you just take a look here, and this gives you the math of why this vote was so important. If you talk about the margin of the GOP majority in the House post the 2024 election, it was 2 seats, 2 seats. That's how many seats they could lose on a vote before losing the majority. Now, all of a sudden, we're talking about Democrats gaining 1, 2, 3, 4 seats, 4 seats in Virginia. The simple math here is 4 is greater than 2. Without Democrats needing to pick up any more seats, this would eliminate the Republican majority and instill a Democratic majority because the margins are so tight. This vote in Virginia means so very much, and that's why all that money was spent on it. My goodness gracious.
Yeah.
Holy Toledo! And they did the damn thing. And they won by a narrow margin. That's just how democracy works. Okay? Sorry. You snooze, you fucking lose, dude. I know this is annoying. But I've been an advocate for fighting fire with fire for a very long time. So it would be awfully hypocritical of me to criticize the Democrats now when they are finally behaving like Republicans and playing politics like Republicans and not just doing policy like Republicans. Okay. Glad that this is finally taking place. They need to do more of this. Sometimes you have to fight back with the same methods that your enemy is using, especially if your enemy is trying to undermine democracy. Sometimes you have to fight back in a similar vein to preserve democracy, to preserve the democratic process. This is it. Okay? Is there a but coming? No buts. No buts whatsoever. I mean, I know that Democrats will probably use this as an opportunity to fucking farm as many like AIPAC Democrats as possible, put them in the fucking caucus, but yeah, no, this is good. This is objectively a good thing. This is something that they should have done. That's a gerrymander shift only. That doesn't account for the electorate opinion shifting D in competitive races, right? No, it does not. I don't think it does.
Ton of money. Harry, thank you for doing that math for us.
I know, it's very hard, very hard.
This is why we keep you around.
That's right.
Harry Enton, thank you for that. For more on this, my political sources are here tonight. Jermichael, what's your assessment of what's happening?
I mean, look, I'm not happy about it.
Look at this dildo. Oh my God, is that Neera Tanden? Oh my God.
Holy Toledo.
Dude, what the fuck is this panel?
What we're seeing is a gradual destruction of incentives in our country. So what happens when you create an atmosphere and an environment where compromise no longer exists? Yeah, maybe this is good for Democrats today, but is it good for the long run? Probably.
Dude, CNN, what is the panel? Caitlin, what are you doing? Put someone else on that goddamn panel. Okay, I guess Neera Tanden will be the defender of the Democrats here, even though she sucks. Unbelievable. Unfucking believable. Or they're like, oh, what a sad day for the democratic process. Bitch, fuck you, okay? The fuck do you mean what a sad day for the democratic process? Sorry, talk to the fucking Republicans for once. It is one of the most annoying things, like when Democrats finally do like a fraction of what the Republicans have been doing, and everyone's like, whoa, you're not supposed to do that. Them's not the rules. You're supposed to fucking eat shit and die every fucking election. What do you mean? Why are you not rolling over and taking it up the fucking ass? How dare you? It's literally Harlem Globetrotters versus the fucking Washington Generals, man. Every fucking time. Every time. They're like, whoa, what are you doing? You're not supposed to dunk. You're not allowed to take 3-point shots. What are you doing? You're supposed to lose every time. It's unbelievable. The one time Democrats do the right thing, all of these like liberal panelists, like liberal adjacent panelists, the reasonable Republicans, the reasonable Republican strategists immediately are like, whoa, what a sad day for democracy. I'm sorry. Trump is your guy. You can't say that. You can't be defending Trump on a daily basis and then fucking turn around and be like, well, I can't believe the Democrats are doing this. I mean, I get why. Okay? I get why they're saying this, because the expectation is, yeah, Democrats are supposed to be controlled opposition. Democrats are supposed to just eat it every day of the week. Sorry, sucks to fucking suck. It's so ridiculous, and it's hilarious to see this. Look. Washington Post editorial board was fine with the Republicans gerrymandering in Texas, but when Democrats responded in Virginia, it's a power grab that plunges America deeper into gerrymandering abyss. The Texas gerrymander freak out. What's happening in the Lone Star State is not a threat to democracy. Virginia plunges America deeper into gerrymandering abyss. Hold on. It's unbelievable, dude. It's unfucking believable. But I hope this gives more confidence to the Democrats to do stuff like this, okay? I hope it gives More confidence in Democrats.